Hello, and welcome to Tierlist Tuesday. Today we're going to be going through my tier list on the Green Day albums. Green Day is one of my favorite bands of all time, so I thought it'd be fun to show how my ranking is probably very similar to so many people. But first, we're gonna add a new row because I think it is genuinely unfair to rank Smoothed Out Slappy and Kerplunk on the same scale as all of the other ones for the sheer fact that it has so much less money behind it. They're so much younger, they have fewer resources. How could you really compare that to one of their more recent releases? I don't think it's fair. I think they are great, your garage punk, pop punk sound, but at the end of the day, you just don't have that extra polish behind it. And for me, I like my stuff polished with some rawness rather than raw with a little polish, if that makes sense. We're going to be going from least favorite to favorite for this, so we're building our way up. And my least favorite of the Green Day albums that I'm reviewing, because I'm not counting any side projects, is Saviors. Saviors just was so middle of the road, so exactly what you expect from them, without any of the lyricism. You have lines like TikTok and taxes, just throwing out things that are happening but not giving it any of the substance. It also really struck me as, they are wealthy, older people at this point, and I think a lot of the lyrics in this album show that. I did really like Dilemma. I think Dilemma is the best song on this album, the best song in the last two albums they released. And speaking of that, next up we have Father of All. I think if Father of All wasn't by Green Day, if it was by some other band, it would be higher, because it has interesting sounds. It has interesting ideas in it. That's like, wow, I want to see this explored. I want to see where they can take this. But when you realize it's Green Day, and you realize that, it kind of sounds like they're phoning it in a little bit, the uniqueness kind of wears off. Also, I really hated the branding around this album cycle, and it just really doesn't do anything for me. Horny the Unicorn, cool, man. You guys are old enough to be above that, I think. Moving on, and this may be a bit of an oddball hit, but Insomniac, it's a good album. I just never, when I am standing in front of the albums to listen to, I almost never choose it. It's never the first on that list. It's never even the second or third on that list. It's good, but other than 86, Jaded, Brain Stew, other than 86 and the singles, I can't really think of any songs from it off the top of my head. Moving on. And this is also probably not quite the take people would see, but Dookie is good. It is good. It has good songs on it. It has some overplayed songs. I don't think I want to hear When I Come Around Again for years, if I can help it. But it's all good. It has that polish, but for me, what I like in my music, I like more depth. I like more experimenting with the songwriting. I like it when songs are a little longer and have a couple more parts, and you'll see that later. But yeah, it is, a high schooler band, or they're in their 20s at that point, I think, but still a younger band making music, and it's good, just not quite what I really look for. Then Warning has some of those elements that I'm talking about, where some of the songs are a little longer and have some different parts. They're experimenting with different sounds. I think there's a lot to like about Warning. I really do. I think Warning has several songs that are just, you sit there and you go, wow, they're really experimenting with storytelling here. They're really trying to push it. And I think that's really neat and interesting. Then, moving on. So, Green Day released the trilogy when I was in high school. These songs sound like the spring of my freshman year of high school. I could not. Trey was the first album I ever bought with my own money. I could never judge these fairly. Even though there are issues with all of these albums, I have such a soft spot in my heart for them that I couldn't judge them accurately. A Little Boy Named Train, what? But I still love it. I don't know. It sounds like spring to me. So, for that reason, it goes here. And then these next ones are difficult to rank. Nimrod, very good. A little too long, which is a similar complaint I have for 21st Century Breakdown. But it has that variety that I like to look for. It has a lot of interesting hooks, interesting licks. It has their only instrumental track, which is such a cool little unique piece. Jinx and Hashinka, I think that's how it is pronounced. A good 1-2 punch. And then 21st Century Breakdown. I'm a theater kid. I love dramaticism. This album was middle school for me. But it's just too long. It has, I think, 18 songs in it, which, it's a good album, but... Or let me hold it. Sorry, 16? 17. It has quite a few. No, 18, yeah, there it is. I think if it was trimmed down to a solid 14, and of course you have Song of the Century in there, but does that count? But I think if you trimmed down a couple, just made it a tighter package, I think it gets better. Because as it stands, I could lose See the Light, Static Age. American Eulogy never did much for me, which is odd because I do like my multi-parters. And then Revolution Radio, I think, was so good. It was so good, and it made you think that the next two albums they released were going to be so much better than they ended up being. But Revolution Radio, man, what a time to be a Green Day fan, because not only do you have Bang Bang, which is, pun intended, a banger, you have the storytelling that they've got, bookending with Somewhere Now and Forever Now. You have some experimental sounds. Outlaws has that, they're playing the guitar with a violin bow. I think Youngblood is weak, but that's like the only song that for me holds the album back, because otherwise it's just all go. It's so good. And then unfortunately, I think American Idiot is one of the best records of all time. It came out when I was 4. My dad bought the CD and played it in his car, so you may be saying it's unfair to rank it because that's what I did with these, but I make the rules and I think it's fine. Come on, you have American Idiot, Into Jesus of Suburbia, Holiday, Boulevard of Broken Dreams. Some of the most overplayed songs of all time can be found on this record. And I think it's just so cool. It's just so good. It's iconic. Even the songs that are simpler still feel like they hold so much. And I could not imagine music without American Idiot existing. So yeah, those are my takes. I think you can really tell, as I said, I like my stuff polished with some rawness, where like you can see like the rawer stuff is down a bit and the more polished stuff tends to be up front. But let me know your lists. Let me know what you think about Green Day and the albums. I know it's not everyone's favorite band, and to be honest, if they release one more bad album in a row, I will not really be a fan anymore, I think. But yeah, I mean that's also the cool part about listening to a band's entire discography, because you really get to see them grow and change. But yeah, so that's it for Tier List Tuesday. I'll see you tomorrow.